Ladies and gentlemen, we have some big breaking news, and it's not the good kind. There have been two Premier League superstars today that have been caught doing some very terrible things. One is an accusation, and one is borderline guaranteed. So, without further ado, let's jump into some Premier League news and reactions. What's up, everybody? It's the Sports Code, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be some news and a reaction at the end because I got some advice saying that I should probably do the news section first and then I'll make a reaction. I still want to keep it in the same video, but I am going to divide the two. So we'll start off with the news, but before we get into all of that, please like and subscribe to the Sports Code YouTube channel for more news, update videos, and controversial debates at the end of the day, because there's a lot of things that happened here. And yeah, man, we'll get stuck into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is Alexander Lacazette, the Arsenal forward, very, very talented lad, was seen taking some sort of drugs through a balloon. He was sucking a balloon, and it's been recorded. It was put on Instagram earlier today, and it was seen and expected that he was taking some sort of drug. This has not been the first time that Lacazette's been caught doing something like this, and he got punished for it the first time, and it looks like, if confirmed, if seen or being able to be proven, he will most likely get caught again. So for the Arsenal forward, there's going to be some very interesting consequences if this is true, and the evidence is there, man. So, videos don't lie. Clearly that was him, and clearly he was doing something that shouldn't be done. And for the Arsenal man, it's going to be very interesting to see what his excuse is and what his overall opinion towards what he did is. This has not been the first time for any Arsenal player that's been caught doing this. I believe it was 18 months ago, or last year, it was they all got caught. Majority of the Arsenal players got caught taking drugs. So this isn't the first time. This is probably not going to be the last time, but it's definitely happened again, it looks like. And this is very bad for Arsenal, and it's very bad for the club. I'm sure they'll have to make a statement on this soon, and we'll see what happens with Lacazette, because there's some explaining to do. Going on to the next story and the final story. Again, I'm going to run through this, and then I'll give my reactions at the very end. So, Callum Hudson-Odoi was arrested today in his apartment for allegedly raping a woman who was at his apartment. The 19-year-old seemed to be set up, I guess you could say, but there is allegations, and until they are proven as untrue, the police took precautions and decided to arrest Callum Hudson-Odoi. And again, there are a lot of issues with this story, which we'll get into later on. But the Chelsea forward, it seems to be in a lot of trouble, and it looks like things are not going to go well for him. So, in saying that, let's get into the reactions of this news. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the Alexander Lacazette taking drugs at a party, or it looks like. First of all, there's a lot of things wrong with this. And it's very similar to the Callum Hudson-Odoi situation, but we're going to stick with Lacazette first. So, I'm pretty sure England's still in a lockdown. Now, again, I don't live in England, but I'm pretty sure England is still in a lockdown. So the fact that there's a house party is one thing that is wrong with this entire story, and that's not even the worst thing. Two, if this is the second time or the third time, however many times it has been, that Lacazette has been caught doing something like this, it's time to take action. Arsenal fans should not have to witness one of their players doing something they shouldn't be doing, and neither should the club. I think at the end of the day, if this is true, and there is proof, there is videos, but if it is drugs that he's inhaling, then there is something that needs to be done. I'm sorry, but Lacazette has done this way too many times. Arsenal players have done this way too many times. And if you're an Arsenal fan and you want to go to the next level, you want to compete with the top four, you want to compete for the Premier Leagues, you want to compete for all of these things that you claim that you can get, then things like this should instantly make a player leave, honestly. Because how many times are you going to have to give a player a chance before you say that's enough? If I was Arsenal, I would sell Lacazette for that, if it is true. And anybody else that gets caught, I would sell. This is not a joke anymore. If this is the first time, you live and you learn. You can get away with it. It's one of those situations where it's, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. If Arsenal decide to let this slide once again, then shame on Arsenal, to be honest. This is unacceptable behaviour. This is a modern professional. Kids look up to this guy. Players look up to this guy. And at the end of the day, if he's acting in a rational way, then there's no way that Arsenal should just let this slide. Serious statements need to be made. Serious consequences need to be given out. And if it was me, I would sell him. Now, I like Lacazette as a player. I don't need to like Arsenal to know that there's talent in their team, and very good talent at that. But at the end of the day, talent only gets you so far. And yes, he's a hard-working player, but if he doesn't get his act together off the pitch, then hard work and talent will not end up saving your career. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. And look, Arsenal fans and everybody can banter every single club all they want, but at the moment, they're making your club look bad. And I hope that for whatever reason this isn't true, because at the end of the day, this is not embarrassing to just Arsenal. This is embarrassing to the Premier League as well. The Premier League needs to take action with this as well. I don't care who you are, what you do, but when you're in a lockdown and you're at a party, it looks like it's a party, and you're inhaling something that should not be taken, that's so many things in one single video that it looks like Lacazette has completely abandoned and been broken. So I know he's an Arsenal fan favourite, and recently at times it looks like Arsenal fans are starting to turn on him. I don't know what people are going to react to about this, but something needs to be done, and that's what I personally believe. Something needs to be done, and it cannot wait. And I hope that Arsenal can take a serious look, because at the end of the day, a professional club like that, they are a big team, they're a big club, they need to take serious action, and they need to be ruthless. So if this is true, I think Lacazette needs to leave the club. I think there's no accepting of doing this twice when you've already been told off once, the consequences once, and you've gone and done it again. For me, inexcusable. And if true, something needs to be done. Act. Arsenal, act. Anyway, on to the reaction for the Callum Hudson-Odoi news. Now, again, this is an allegation. So the actual rape itself has not been confirmed or denied at this moment. But we've seen these stories before with not with Callum Hudson-Odoi, but with footballers and athletes and celebrities. Girls accusing individuals of rape for money. And I'm not going to say that this is the case, or if this is what it is, because at the end of the day, I can't go on either side and say he's innocent or she's guilty or vice versa, because I don't know the situation. But this seems very, very fishy to me. First of all, she's at his house. That's the first red line. And England supposedly in a lockdown. She's at his house. So both of them are in the wrong there if he invited her over. I'm not sure of the full details on that, but both of them are in the wrong there. But it's kind of hard to assume that someone got raped if they're actually going to their house. I don't know. That's just me. To me, that seems very fishy. But we all know situations like this. It's happened with the great athletes. If we could believe it or not, and people might believe this, most people won't. But we've seen it with Ronaldo. We've seen it with NBA players like Derrick Rose and Kobe Bryant. We've seen this before with players getting accused of some serious allegations in order to get some money for the woman that sues. And majority of the time, it doesn't look like it's true, but they settle out of court, which makes it look guilty upon the person. Now, at the end of the day, Callum Hudson-Odoi is 19 years old, right? And he's a very young kid, and he has a lot to learn, and he probably got played here, to be honest. That's the way I think about it, but I'm not going to go fully into that because we don't know at the end of the day. And we're only going to know in due time when there's a judge and a jury, and I'm assuming he's going to get sued for this. So yeah, until we figure out that, we don't know. But I find it hard to believe that Callum Hudson-Odoi had anything to do with this. And I was talking to a friend earlier about this, and it just seems extremely fishy that she went over to his house and actually went to his house to communicate, and then he ended up getting arrested. So that to me seems very fishy, very, very, very wrong. But we have to talk about two ways here. So if this girl is actually telling the truth, then Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to end his career, basically. He's not going to survive something like this if this is true. He's probably going to end up in jail, but knowing the richness of football players, if there's a bail, it will be paid, so he won't be in jail for too long. But if at the end of the day, that's his reputation gone. If this is true, can he play for Chelsea again? Can he play for big clubs again, knowing that this situation is going to be on him for the rest of his life? But maybe he can survive that, because at the end of the day, this has happened to Ronaldo. Look how good he is now. This has happened to Kobe, to Derrick Rose, and they've all turned out fine. So maybe for Callum Hudson-Odoi, this will be the same thing. He'll end up being fine. Whether he's guilty or not, he might end up being fine. But if Callum Hudson-Odoi isn't guilty and this girl is lying, then again, it's just another one of those situations where the girl tried to get some money out, and they'll probably settle out of court and she gets her money. And at the end of the day, this is a lose-lose situation for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Win or lose, you have a very bad reputation upon you now, and it's probably undeserved reputation. But now that it's there, it's going to be very, very harsh reality for this guy who's still learning and still growing. And to be honest, if you ask me, do I think this is true? I think this is complete bullshit. I don't think that Callum Hudson-Odoi did anything, but we don't know. So I'm not going to go into further details about my opinion on it. I think I've said well and truly enough about this. But I do want to get into, again, I do want to get into the situation of this shouldn't be happening. Whether it's true or not, the actual act of rape should not be happening. It is, my opinion, just as bad as murder, to be honest. It is the worst thing that could be done outside of murder. And I can't believe in this generation, it seems like it's getting worse and worse, to be honest. And we don't know if there needs to be more done to people that actually get away with this, or to people that get caught but they end up still getting out in a few years' time. There needs to be more done about that, and it's shocking because the courts and the judicial systems, they seem to tread lightly because people will probably play the mental card and all of this, and they're not in the right state of mind. They're going to plead all these situations to get them as less jail time as possible. And to be honest, we need a more ruthless judicial system. I don't know how it is in England, but in Australia, I think we need that. And I think we need that in most countries as well, because things like this, whether it's true or not, if Callum Hudson-Odoi did this, then he should definitely not get away with it. So it's as simple as that. But at the end of the day, again, if this is happening to you, if there is something that you can do, try and contact the policeman. Try and contact anybody that you can that can help you. But like at the end of the day, this just shouldn't be happening. I can't believe it. It's 2020 and this is still a topic of debate for people. This is getting ridiculous now. But I hope for Callum Hudson-Odoi's sake, and I'm not going to in on him because at the end of the day, I don't believe this. So I hope he's innocent, and I think he will be innocent. And for people that are laughing about this, I don't see why you're laughing at a rape accusation. That is one of the worst things that could ever be put onto someone. That's damaging their career, and people are laughing about it. That's just stupid. Don't laugh about it. It's not a joke, guys. So come on, be real here. Like, seriously. Anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe for more YouTube videos. This is 3 in one day, man. I'm breaking my limitations myself. This is getting ridiculous, but I feel like I had to comment on these ones. It's so stupid what's been happening recently with these players. Lacazette really disappointed me today, to be honest. Really, really disappointed me. And Callum Hudson-Odoi, I don't know. I don't know what to say about him, because if it's true, then that's terrible, and he should not get away with it. But most likely, this is going to be proven false, and we'll see. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem. I think he's smarter than that to actually go and do something like that with his whole career ahead of him. If he just threw his career away for one night, then he seems like an idiot to me. But again, like, we'll see what happens. But this doesn't look true at all. Anyway, have a wonderful and safe day. Take care, and peace.